never scared and she ain't never been. Who always willing to go toe to toe against the president? I can't wrap my head around someone who votes Republican. She advocate for feeding kids, they protect folks touching them. Trump invading his own country with our army, what a joke. We remember Pearl Harbor by illegally bombing boats. What y'all thought we wasn't gonna do nothing, buddy? Think again. They only trying to scare out of running because they think she'll win. Listen, thought I told y'all we ain't never scared. Now look who name on the docket. Got 2 words for every racist bigot. Jasmine Crockett.
Y'all hear the words.
Me, I hope my money goes to side that isn't trying to say affordability is a hoax. She stand on business, Austin toes. Texas dope, don't need no more bad built, bleach, blonde, butch bodies moving forward.
Boy, you don't sit your stupid ass down. Who the f you think you is?
What's up, everybody? It's your girl Mika, and you're watching the Red Cup Podcast, where truth, pop culture, and politics meet.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl Mika, and we're back for another Red Cup Talks because this is where truth, pop culture, and politics meet. I mean, did y'all enjoy that rap piece in the beginning? Did y'all enjoy the rap piece? I mean, my man thought he had killed it. Okay. That was a rapper for Jasmine Crockett's opening at her campaign announcement that she was going to run. Okay. Now, you guys know we're getting into everything today. We're getting into Jasmine Crockett, of course. We're getting into Jasmine Crockett. We're getting into Angela Staton King. We're getting into Cassie. We're going to touch on a lot of different things, but I thought that was hilarious. Okay. Hilarious. Because at the end of the day, I could have voted for her. I absolutely would have voted for her. She could have cut the check. All right. I can do what I usually do. I'm a ghostwriter. Nobody would have known that little old conservative me wrote that rap. Okay. My man botched that. He absolutely botched that rap. Absolutely. It was atrocious, but we'll get into that later. I want to, thank everybody in the chat, and I want to thank Taurus Prince. I saw this coming in, so thank you so much for starting the night off right. Thank you, Taurus Prince 516. He says, I'm so mad I missed Friday's live on Pop the Balloon. I had ish to say. Maybe if I had a little time on the end, I'll throw that back up there. Lord Jesus, did Minecraft? Oh, because she looks like a box. Yes, exactly. Did Minecraft create her? Why her body misshapen like that? I don't know. She wouldn't sass me like that, looking like the last McDonald's character. Oh, those little toys that come in McDonald's now, they got a keychain. It's like that. That's what she looks like. Lego block. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. That is hilarious. Yeah, that was funny. I absolutely thought that was funny. Because not only were they talking about politics, they were talking about relationships and how it affects, how it affects relationships, or how politics affect relationships. So I thought it was hilarious. But thank you for starting the show off right. I appreciate it. And thank you to Mike, that dude on Cash App. I got that as well. I'm not missing anything today. Okay. And I also want to thank and give a shout out to Judah Vision. He also cashed app on Friday, and I didn't get to mention it. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate you. I really, really, really do. What's going on, everybody in the chat? I see you all in here. Shout out to the mods, Magnetar. Wait. Hold up. Ooh. Your car? He must be sick. But I'm sure your car gonna pop up. But anywho, shout out to everybody in the chat. I see you, Tijuana Border Jumper, the genuine CEO. You guys, thank you all so much. I see you up in here. Let's get it started because we got a lot to talk about. All right, so let's start with our shots. Let's start. So I want to get into this whole thing with Cassie being sued. All right. Now we all have seen, well, most of us have seen the 50 Cent documentary with talking about Diddy and talking about everything that has gone on and what Diddy's into, what he's not into, or what isn't he into. We've all seen all of that. However, we all know that it all kicked off with Cassie, right? Everything kicked off with Cassie. So it's funny that one of the gentlemen that I guess was maybe the escort, he is suing Cassie, and he has a lot to say because he says you guys keep coming for him, and y'all need to recognize that a lot of this was Cassie. I want to get into what he had to say because it is wild. Viewer discretion is advised. Here we go.
Man puts his hand on them don't mean a woman can't be a hoe who likes large members and likes to sleep with a bunch of men. People, the probably the most damaging thing I'm about to say that people are not gonna like is this. Audience, Cassie was a hoe.
Oh, no.
Cassie was a hoe who liked to sleep with guys who were good in bed, and I was one of those guys. It's a shame that I am being attacked, and all of these women want to make excuses for a woman who is a whore. Cassandra Ventura was a whore. She may not be a whore anymore. She grew up, she grew out of it. People change. It's okay. But that time of her life, she was a whore. She liked to have schmecks. She liked to schmuck Enos. She loved all of that, people. She used to do it for hours, and Diddy did not make her. The only thing Diddy used to make her do was stop when she was going too long, and that's the damn truth. Now, the sad part is that as the actual victim of this conspiracy, that I still don't get the same respect as Cassie because Diddy put his hands on her because she stole his phone and the damn freak off, and the man got caught on camera putting his hands on her. Suddenly, she's the Mother Teresa of domestic violence. People, this is a horrible misconception that is being totally manipulated by people because they need Cassie's domestic violence to hate Diddy. You really don't need Cassie's domestic violence to hate Diddy. People, there is a million different reasons to hate Diddy other than Cassie. People, you need to accept the truth of for what this is. Cassie is not a victim of that RICO. She is most certainly a victim of domestic violence. Yes, she is certainly a victim of domestic physical abuse. Yes, people, but it's not because of those sexual encounters. It's because she was in a relationship with a super rich and powerful man who was also horribly toxic and a drug addict. Those are the recipes for domestic violence. When you're constantly in a relationship with someone who is drugged up all the time, emotionally imbalanced, and has a super ego, women, you're gonna get your behind kicked. You know why? Because the second you don't do something that man likes, he's gonna put his hands, feet, and legs up your behind and make you do it. See, you need to understand something, people. Rich men, they use money to control women. But once the money don't work, they don't have the finesse to control women. You know why? Because they've been using money their entire life to control women. This is when these guys get violent. People, I've been broke in my life and I've had money. I've learned how to bag women with no money, and I've learned how to bag them with a lot of money. And the one thing I can tell you definitively is that my relationships that I started out broke and came into money with the woman were always better than the relationships I started out with a lot of money and then me and the girl started dating, because people, you always have problems. People get used to people. Familiarity breeds contempt. Cassie was probably amazed at Diddy when she first dated him. She thought she was dating God, but after a while she realized that he was a fallible man and he was imperfect partner in these free calls. But so was Cassie.
He said a lot. I was absolutely shocked when I saw this. Okay. I was absolutely shocked. I swear to goodness, I was shocked. Okay. I never thought Cassie was innocent, but of course, I do think she is a victim of domestic violence. But I never thought that I never thought that Diddy would get charged, sent to jail for the RICO, because they couldn't prove it. Okay. And I really don't think they were trying to prove it. My honest opinion, and it may be conspiracy land, but my honest opinion is that they were after those tapes, whatever was on those tapes, and so on and so on. However, yes, he is suing. Mr. Clayton is suing Cassie Ventura. All right. And you see he has the hashtag men can be victims too. Okay. And he's suing because he's getting a lot of backlash. He says he's getting unaliving threats. All right. He's getting all of these things and he's suing. Okay. And I say fair game. All right. Because what does he know that we don't know about Cassie Ventura? And since Cassie has a bag now, he's coming for it. You can't make this stuff up. The rabbit hole goes deep. Okay. You thought you got one over on somebody. The victim is the victimizer, and the victim still, it's just a lot going on with that case. So we shall continue to follow this saga. Okay. That's right. Big fella definitely is going to go after the bag. So you guys go down in the comments and let me know what you guys think about that. I thought that was wild. Okay. Now, speaking of a wild Wednesday, it just keeps getting wilder. Okay. If you guys don't know who's on the screen right now, this is Angela Staton King, who is a Trump supporter and a Maha supporter. Okay. She is one of the main driving forces with RFK. Okay. Now, she is conservative, but she has spent time in jail. Okay. She has done her time and all of that. However, like I said, she has been one of the people in the forefront of the MAGA movement for Black people. And she even got Donald Trump to take away the law of women being chained to a bed when they are in jail while they're having birth. Okay. However, in these conservative streets, it has been wild. All right. Because the lady behind her, her name is April Chapman. And some of you might follow her. Okay. And she does things with Turning Point USA. All right. She is, I would assume, a member, somebody that talks for Turning Point USA, all of that good stuff. However, with everything that's been happening with Charlie Kirk, Erika Kirk, Candace Owens, April decided to speak out, and she decided to speak on Angela Staton. And when I tell you it got ugly on X, it got ugly on X. Again, viewer discretion is advised. Here we go.
Well, this bitch right here, April, just got cussed the fuck out. And I'm going to tell you why. Because I am so sick and tired of these fake, phony ass fucking Christians. Let me tell you something. She called herself calling me out on X, digging up old tweets, posts that I've said about Charlie Kirk, things that I've said about Candace Owens, as if she's revealing something that people did not know. Everybody knows how I felt in the past. It was never a secret. I've never held my tongue when it came to Candace or Charlie. Now, she can't get over the fact that I don't hate Candace, right? We already know she's on TP USA's payroll, right? She can't get over the fact that I don't hate Candace. So she decides to come for me and says that I'm flip-flopping. Let me tell you what a flip-flopping bitch is, right? This is what you're looking at. Because you got a talk show, you got a podcast, whatever. Never, ever, ever has she ever come to her platform one time to talk about the work that we do at Auntie Angie's house, the things that we do to help Black women, the things that we do to save Black babies, or the things that we do to get Black men out of prison. She has never said anything about the work we do, but you gonna hop your big funky ass up on a platform and come for me about a dead white man. And yes, I am talking about Charlie Kirk. And this is why I'm telling you, know the difference in people that are for you and these punk bitches that's getting paid by TP USA. You ain't stood up for Black people. You ain't asked me on your show to talk about Black women. You ain't talked about none of the work that we doing, but you gonna get your funky ass up on X and have an issue with my stance when it comes to Candace Owens. And this right here is why we can't get along. And this is another reason why I tell you, I do not fuck with the church, because it's bitches like this that's going to sit up there and use scripture when they want to cap for a white man who wouldn't spit on their motherfucking ass if they was on fire. Now I know somewhere in your little brain, TPUSA done hyped you up and got you thinking that you're gonna be the next Candace Owens. Don't let TPUSA get you tied up in some real street shit.
No, Lord.
Listen, y'all internet warriors, you not really about that life. Don't ever in your life, bitch. You don't know me. You want to go after Candace? Go for Candace. If I want to stick up for Candace, bitch, I can do what the fuck I want to do. I can cap for Candace just like you can cap for a white man who never gave a fuck about you. Now, the best thing for you to do is focus on your husband and them 4 little beautiful babies you got out there in Rockdale County. I'm not the one that you want problems with, okay?
Lord. Yes. You guys, this has been going on all day. Okay? I don't know where it went wrong, but April decided to, talk about Angela on X. Okay. And of course, it is because, the whole Candace Owens thing and what she's been saying about Charlie Kirk and Erika Kirk, right? And Turning Point. She decided, meaning April, decided, to say something to Angela or about Angela because Angela has been defending Miss Candace Owens, right? Now, Angela and Candace have had, their words the same, all right? And Angela has not, minced her words when it came to how she felt about Charlie Kirk and certain things that he said, right? And everybody's entitled to their opinion. However, April inserted herself, and that is what ensued. And so what's been going on all day is the Twitter wars, okay? Or the X post wars, whatever you want to call it now. They're going back and forth, and I'm just like, OMG. This is real life, okay? The posts are wild. All right. The posts are wild. And so I implore you, it is getting ugly. Okay. And the reason why it's seeming like it's getting ugly out here in the conservative spaces is because there is a void, okay? There is a void, and people are trying to fill it. People are trying to be the next this or that when they ought to be just themselves, okay? They want to be the next Candace. They want to be the next Charlie Kirk. Just be yourselves. Charlie Kirk was who he was, and, it's a tragedy that he had to, be unalive like that in front of thousands of people, including his wife, right? But people are going to feel how they feel on either side, right? And then you also have, because there were conservative men that, had issues with Charlie Kirk. And then you have, Candace Owens, and it's just, a lot of people have a lot of gripes with Turning Point USA. All right. So later on in the show, we'll get into Erika Kirk because Erika Kirk went on Fox News today and spoke about a lot of this stuff. But this was the beginning of a lot today. All right. So you guys get down in the comments and let me know what you thinking about that. My name is Bennett and I ain't in it. But we cover pop culture, okay? Whether conservative, whether liberal, okay, white or black. All right, we cover it all. So you guys let me know what you think about that because it was a lot. And if you type it in on X, everything comes up. Those pictures and those posts, they're wild. Okay, they're going back and forth. It's hilarious. It's too much. All right, but you guys let me know what you think. Let's move on. Woo. Okay. So you guys, if you don't know, Ilhan Omar, we all know, everybody's been on the back of her neck and sometimes the top of her head. All right. Because she is seemingly being named more and more and even seemingly more involved in these scams with the Somalis in Minnesota. And so we want to get into this because Tom Homan was doing the news rounds about immigration, and there seems to be an investigation into Ilhan Omar, okay, and her marriage fraud. All right. I want to get into what Tom Homan said, and then we'll do a little bit of a flashback. Here we go.
The Border Czar, Tom Homan, joins us tonight to talk about Minnesota as well as a number of other issues. And, sir, it's good to have you back on the show. Trump mentioning the Daily Mail reporting from 2020 that Ilhan Omar married her brother to get into the country. This was last week. Take a listen.
Look at their nation. Look how bad their nation is. It's not even a nation. It's just people walking around killing each other. They've taken billions and billions of dollars. They have a representative, Ilhan Omar, who they say married her brother. That's a fraud.
Calls that a fraud. It's a story that has never been successfully refuted, even though it's now a 5-year-old story. That's clearly a deportable offense. Is there an investigation into that?
You know, I just got advised by a fraud investigator the other day on that. I asked the question, who reviewed the file, and says, there was immigration fraud involved. The statute of limitation became an issue in the last 4 years when this was first brought up. Who was president? Who ran DOJ? So pulling the records now, pulling the files, and we're looking at, but this fraud investigator, who I know personally, one of the best fraud investigators in HSI, Homeland Security Investigations, said there's no doubt he reviewed the file. So I'm running that down this week, matter of fact, and we'll see.
It's tremendous that, I mean, and according to the Secretary, Kristi Noem of DHS, she said nearly 50% of the visas are fraudulent in this community. I mean, that would mean that half the Somali refugees are here in some way illegally. What's going to happen? Is something's actually going to happen? Are there going to be people stripped of their visas, deported? Are we going to see that?
Absolutely. I mean, those days are over. Thank God President Trump's in the White House. We're going to look at all of them. I mean, we're going to look at those here illegally, of course. We're going to look at those here under a visa or some sort of, immigration process that are criminals. We're going to look at the national security threats. But those who came through a process that weren't properly vetted, who didn't provide documentation, who slipped through the Biden's weak processes on, giving visas and temporary, whether student visas or visitors visas or whatever. We're going the whole gamut. President Trump has instructed us go down.
When I tell you, they are going after the Somalis, including the head one, okay, who always talks about the white supremacist, okay? Speaking of that, I want to get into this flashback of when it was first found out. And I want you to see the information that the Biden administration had.
Minnesota Democrats, media, and the Department of Justice have continually ignored strong evidence supporting the fact that Ilhan Omar may be directly involved in tax, marriage, and immigration fraud.
In 2002, Omar married Ahmed Hirsi in a religious ceremony. Hirsi is the father of Omar's 3 children, and is pictured often with Omar and their children on their campaign website.
In 2016, Minnesota journalist Scott Johnson received a tip about a post from a Somali community website containing marriage certificates alleging Omar married her brother, Elmi, in February 2009, in order for him to immigrate to the U.S. legally, despite the facts she'd been married to the father of her children, Hirsi, over a decade.
This clearly proved that any such second marriage might be bigamous under Minnesota law, as well as fraudulent.
Later in August 2016, further investigations into legal documents and filings in Minnesota by journalist Priya Samsundar uncovered evidence supporting the allegation that Ilhan Omar married her brother, Ahmed Nursed Elmi, in 2009.
The 2009 marriage license to Elmi lists the same address as one filed for a Minnesota business 3 months later in May 2009 for a one-to-one cafe by Hirsi, the father of Omar's 3 children.
That means Ilhan Omar was living with both her real husband Hirsi while still married to her brother Elmi.
Omar has continued to deny the allegations, dismissing them as baseless rumors and fake journalists on bigot blogs despite mounting evidence.
High school record evidence also support the claim that Elmi is indeed her brother and graduated in 2003 from Arlington Senior High School in St. Paul, Minnesota, with enrollment records that state he was born April 4th, 1985, the same birth date listed on Omar's 2009 marriage certificate to Elmi.
As troubling details mounted against Omar, members of the Somali community were threatened into silence through intimidation tactics and physical violence on themselves and their families still back in Somalia. In an obtained Facebook Live video from August 18, 2016, a woman identified as the Associate Chair of the Somali American Caucus speaks. And in translation, she states in plain terms that any Somali that talks about Omar's personal life, including marriage discrepancies, is an enemy of the Somali community. Credible sources in the Somali community have stepped forward and provided Alpha News with information in exchange for anonymity, along with members of the 2003 class have also identified Elmi's father as
Nur said Elmi Mohammed, the same man who calls himself father to Ilhan Omar.
It is absolutely wild, you guys. Okay. It's absolutely wild. Okay. She does all of that talking. All of that talking. When I tell you these illegal immigrants, they come over here and they just do whatever. But I have never seen this. Okay. I've seen, get married for the green card. Okay. You can get, they come over there, they have the passport and you're going to get your green card. Okay. I've seen it. However, I have never seen, my brother need to stay. So I've never seen it. It is wild. All right. But since we're, talking about these illegal migrants, illegal immigrants, okay, whatever you want to call them, can't say the other thing because YouTube. However, I just wanted to play this couple of seconds because apparently HUD has found some more corruption along with the illegal migrants. Here we go.
During the Biden administration, there were over 12 million illegal aliens that came over the border, straining our housing supply and making the costs go up. And so we worked with Secretary Noem at DHS, as you alluded to make sure that only American citizens are living in HUD-funded housing. We also took away FHA-backed mortgages from illegal aliens during the Biden administration. They turned a blind eye. But we're going to keep the law to make sure that these mortgages, which are backed by the taxpayer, go only to the American people. And lastly, we are mandating that every public housing authority give us a comprehensive account who's living in every unit in taxpayer HUD-funded housing.
Wow. Ashley Davis, another impact of that wide open border. Absolutely.
During the Biden.
That's wild. Absolutely wild. You know how long some of these people wait on these waiting lists, for these public housing and this and that and the third, and they just jumped the border, came and go to the Rio Grande, okay, got on a plane, overstayed a visa, whatever you did, push the CPP1 app, whatever it was, and got temporary status, and you get to be here. You get FHA, HUD, you got debit cards up there in New York, okay, you were getting steak, okay, Salt Bay was coming and putting a little sprinkle on your stuff. I mean, all of this, okay. They were having parties out there at Coney Island. I mean, they were tearing it up. The beach was filthy. They were riding all the rides, all the hot dogs, all the funnel cake just gone. Okay? Just gone. Because they were taken over. It's absolutely insane. It's wild. It's absolutely wild. All right? But this is what's happening in in these streets. Okay? So those are your shots. Okay. I hope those shots were good. Okay. Because this is absolutely wild. All right. You got Cassie being sued. You got Angela Staton King going at it with April Chapman. Okay. A conservative content creator on YouTube, and she works with or works for Turning Point USA. And then you have, Ilhan Omar, okay, or Ilhan, as the president calls her. All right. You have that one married to the brother, doing fraud, whether it's welfare fraud, whether it's sending money back to Somalia. Okay. So they can continue being the captain. And you just have all of these things going on. You got HUD over there. I mean, it's just one thing after another. However, those are your shots. So you guys get down in the comments and let me know what you think about Ilhan, Angela Staton King, and Cassie. Right. All right. Let's move on. Oof, that was wild. That was absolutely wild. When I tell you, when I look at these stories, and I have a ton of them, and I have to really, sit down and pick, and I'm just like, OMG. Some of these things I can't even talk about. All right. But anywho, we are going to get into our favorite wig. Okay. We're going to get into Ratchet Crockett, aka Jasmine Crockett. Jasmine Crockett said she is going to flip Texas blue. All right. I know you guys saw the opening. If you didn't, it was hilarious. Okay. But the opening was the fact that Jasmine Crockett is very cringe right now. Her campaign is starting out very cringe. And I want to get into all of that. But again, if you did not see my opening, I want to give you the chance to see it. All right. But I don't want you to just see the regular campaign version. I want you to see the version that she wanted you to see, because I guess she thinks she's the Beyonce of politics. Okay. She has a music video and everything online. Let's get into it, you guys, because this is funny. Absolutely funny. Here we go.
She ain't never scared and she ain't never been. Who else willing to go toe to toe against the president? I can't wrap my head around someone who votes Republican. She advocate for feeding kids, they protect the ones touching them. Trump invaded his own country with an army, what a joke. We remember Pearl Harbor by illegally bombing boats, but y'all thought we wasn't gonna do nothing but it think again. They only trying to scare out of running cause they think she win. Listen, thought I told y'all we ain't never scared. Now look who name on the docket. Got two words for every racist bigot living, Jasmine Crockett. Everyone in MAGA isn't racist. Yeah, that might be true, but in all of history, I never seen a Nazi flag be blue. So which side you want to choose? Me, I hope my money goes to the side that isn't trying to say affordabilities. I hope she stand on business all 10 toes. Texas tough, don't need no more bad built, bleach, blonde, butch bodies moving forward. She ain't never scared and she ain't never been.
God. Did y'all like that? Did y'all like that? You know what I think. Y'all know what I think.
Boy, you don't sit your stupid ass down. Who the you think you is?
That's what I think. Okay. That's what I think. I don't even know who he is. Okay. But I could have voted for him. That joint was absolute basura. Okay. Trash. Okay. Any other language you could think of, trash and garbage. Yes, that's what it was. Okay. The 10. All right. Ratchet Crockett. Ratchet Crockett, everybody. All right. So let's move on. Okay. Because Ratchet Crockett says, y'all ain't done it the JC way. Okay. You haven't done it the JC way. And JC, meaning Jasmine Crockett, wants to turn Texas blue. Here is another cringe-worthy ad from Ratchet Crockett.
Hey y'all, so it is Jasmine Crockett, and by now I'm sure you have heard the good news. Yes, good news coming out of Texas. I know you are not used to good news coming from Texas, but let me tell you, the fight is on. We are about to win. Why? Because I am Texas tough. I am built for this moment, and so are you. So let's show the world why Texas will be on the map finally for something good. Let's make sure that we boot out those that are only doing everything that they can to boot people off of their health care, boot people out of their homes, and boot people out of being able to access food. Let's do what needs to be done. Let's stand together. Let's stand united. And let's make sure that we turn this state blue. Join me.
Woo, child, the ghetto. Okay. So, Miss Texas tough, okay? She's tough, mighty. She said you got to do all that you can do to boot these people out, okay? We got to boot these people out. That's right. Well, the Democrats, they love to say they got to boot these Republicans out. But guess who they actually booted out? The black man, okay? The black man who was actually the front runner, they booted him out, okay? To make space for Ratchet Crockett to run. So they wouldn't have a runoff, because they know if Ratchet Crockett has to run off with, this gentleman here, Colin Alfred, or has to run off with James Tederico, okay? Tederico, if they have to do that, Ratchet Crockett probably won't win that primary. I don't care how many white liberal women vote for her. But here is what this poor gentleman had to say for himself. Here we go.
Why drop out? Why not carry ahead with the Senate campaign?
Yeah, why?
Yeah, well, listen, I thought about this very deeply, and I think there's a certain responsibility that comes with the trust that so many Texans have placed in me. And as I would go around the state, folks would tell me their story. They would open up to me in a way that let me know that we had established a relationship and a trust that also meant that I had to make sure that I did what I thought was best for our state and for the party heading into November. And I did not think that a brutal primary with a runoff, which, as you know, Major, in Texas, that we don't get 50% or in the primary, you have to have a runoff, that further extend the primary. I didn't think that would serve those folks who had placed their trust in me, but that what I could do is accept that they have gerrymandered our state ridiculously, that we are losing representation on the Democratic side, in the House, but that we can have a strong voice representing Dallas, going into the Congress to talk about what has to be done, both to stand up to Donald Trump and to the affordability crisis that we're facing and the corruption we're facing, but also to talk to the Democratic Party about some of the lessons that we have to learn, reconnecting with working people, so associated with elitism and being disconnected from folks. That to me is something we have to do as well. And that's what I want to do representing Dallas.
And unfortunately, this gentleman will not be running for Senate. Okay. Unfortunately, he was booted, just like Jasmine Crockett says. He was booted from the top of the ticket. All right. And he's being forced to go run for that seat, go run for that House seat or something, do something with that. This is awful. Sheldon Daniels would never. All right. Because if Jasmine Crockett can win, then go ahead and show that you can win. Why are we setting something up for her? She already said she was a DEI hire at her, her job, her mini luxurious career. And so with that being said, why are we DEIing her Senate seat run? Okay. Trying to match her up with the best. Oh, let's get this person out the way. Let's get this person out the way. She was scribbled out of her district. Okay. She no longer has TX30. It is now a Republican district. Thank God. Because what I saw with, when Benny Johnson showed it, they needed to scribble her out because she wasn't doing anything. Those people were living in filth, trash, basura. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, that is the gentleman that was booted. Okay. That absolutely booted. So I want to now get into, her biggest fans, meaning Ratchet Crockett's biggest fans, the Golden Girls. Okay. You cannot have Ratchet Crockett do anything without the Golden Girls. The Golden Girls are here 100% to support her. I want to go ahead and get into what Whoopi and gang, Sunny Hostin, aka Cloudy Hostin, had to say about Ratchet Crockett.
Of her camp, I think it's kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm. Well, speaking of disagreeing respectfully, listen, it's been about 30 years since a Democrat was elected statewide in Texas. Doesn't mean that they shouldn't try to run. They absolutely should. That's a good campaign ad if you're running to be queen of the resistance, if you want to be the face of taking on Donald Trump. If you're trying to win a red state that he has won every time he's been on the ballot, where John Cornyn's won there 5 times, you got to talk about not just what you're against, which is Donald Trump. You have to talk about what you're for. This is my frustration. If purely being against Donald Trump was a winning strategy, Dems would have beat him in 2016 and they would have beat him in 2024. I would have loved to hear, I'm Jasmine Crockett and I'm going to fight for affordability. I'm going to fight for the working class. I'm going to bring manufacturing back. Talking about issues, Texans aren't looking for you to take on Donald Trump. They just want competent leadership for the state.
Texans are plain-spoken people, just like everybody else. They know that the economy is going down, down, down. He's underwater with the American people. His approval rate is 39% or something, and with Hispanics, it's 38%. And she assumes that they read. and that they can see that the economy is in the toilets.
I just felt like
So
it was
why-
about her and Donald Trump
Yeah.
and not about the people.
I agree with that, but that's just one campaigner. Give the girl a minute.
Yeah.
We don't have to give her a minute, okay? We don't have to give her a minute. We gave her a New York minute. It was quick. Like, ma'am, get it together. It's cringe. We don't want to see it. We did not like it, okay? We don't want to hear. We know what Donald Trump said. We agreed, okay? She's low IQ. Crockett. Yes, we agree, all right? We agree. Ratchet Crockett is absolutely, like, before you can talk about anything else, the woman had to literally code switch to get her own base. That absolutely doesn't make any sense. When you have to talk a certain way just to get the people that are supposed to fall in line or rock with you anyway, or vote for you anyway, or supposed to be your constituents anyway, it's a problem. It's absolutely a problem. Okay? Because that tells me that you at your best is not what they want to see. They want to see ratchet. They want to see lace front. They want to see long fingernails, neck swinging, bad rapper having candidates.
Well, the
part I
the
did-
thing I like about her is she's a badass and she gets under his skin.
Well, Alyssa, I agree. What's shown to win
Respectfully.
I respectfully agree and disagree, but mainly because I do think we're seeing now with the elections we've witnessed that have been overwhelming victories were about the people and what they needed to hear. That has been lost in the Donald Trump era in general. But what I did like about it is we're seeing unprecedented numbers, dozens of people leaving politics because they are so disheartened and discouraged at how things aren't getting done. So I kind of appreciated her energy that she went harder when everyone else is kind of walking away. And the other thing I know you said this, it doesn't mean she shouldn't run when you said Texas hasn't elected someone, but I'm such a big, I don't like when people say the polls show this, or no one's ready for a woman president, or they aren't until they are, and you don't know if it doesn't try. So I look at it as if someone told me no one's been elected here, go for it. I'd be like, challenge accepted. Like, I kind of like that. It could be an upset. It might be a long shot, but I think that's when you go harder.
Well, I loved it. I thought it was terrific.
Why do y'all let this colonizer speak? Y'all talk about everybody else. Y'all let the colonizer speak. How is the colonizer the black person on the on the panel? How is the colonizer the black person on the panel? Okay, her family literally, she talks all this stuff about Donald Trump. That's why I'm calling her that. Okay, because she literally was a colonizer. Her mother is a Rachel Dolezal. Okay, we found out all of this earlier last year. Okay, her mother's a Rachel Dolezal, said she was black, came over here to New York City and said that she was black when she was white the whole time from the islands of Puerto Rico. Okay, and they also had slaves. She's sitting there like she didn't know that. Girl, you knew that. Okay, you a whole colonizer talking about black people. Girl, the only thing you know about black people is when they should be in the field.
I wanted to see that kind of energy. I think we need an opposition party. I don't think we need business as usual. I think Zohran Mamdani proved that. I think that that you would have said, years ago, there's no way that a black senator and a Jewish senator would be the senators representing Georgia, but they are. So I think
How about a black president?
How about a black president? There have only been 14 black senators in the history of this country, only 2 black governors in the history of this country. I think she could be the 15th black senator in the history of this country. Remember, Texas has 3 million black voters, the most black voters in the country, more than Georgia, more than Florida. And I'll also say this, Texas is gerrymandering, the Texas Republican are gerrymandering her district. So her district is now going to be a Republican district. She represents 766, I think, 766,000 in that district. That district is being taken away from her because when the Republicans can't win, they cheat. And so I will say this, as a senator.
Then what is New York? It's gerrymandered to death. What is Maryland? It's gerrymandered to death. What is California? Okay, this is Jeopardy. What is California?
That is the truth. And as a senator in Texas, she won't be representing 766,000 voices. She will be representing I'm right, 30 million voices. And I say, run, Jasmine, run.
We know you would say run. We know what you do afterwards. That was the Golden Girls, okay? That was the Golden Girls. However, I want to get into what Jasmine Crockett had to say about needing Trump voters to win, okay? I want to get into that because I thought this was I'm not in the business of giving, Democrats any, pointers, but I wouldn't have said that if I'm running to be, the senator for everybody. I wouldn't say I don't need you, but it is Ratchet Crockett, no IQ.
How you make voters who previously voted for Trump, particularly given that you have been an outspoken critic and he has inserted himself, just take your campaign video as is. He has inserted himself at every turn when it comes to your commentary. How will you convert those who are supportive of him to voters for you?
She won't.
Yeah, I don't know that we'll necessarily convert all of Trump supporters. That's not our goal.
Do you need to?
Our goal is to definitely talk to people. No, we don't. We don't need to. Our
You
goal
don't need
is
us.
to make sure that we can engage people that historically have not been talked to, because there's so many people that get ignored, specifically in the state of Texas. Listen, the state of Texas is 61% people of color. We have a lot
There
of
you go with that
good
people of color.
folk that we can talk to. We know that when Beto came really close, we know that he got 65% of the Latino vote. So what did they do after that? They specifically went after Latinos. We know that he got close to 90% or right there at 90% of the African-American vote. So honestly, what we need to do is start talking to the vast majority of Texas. I think my message is very much a mainstream message. I don't know who disagrees with the fact that affordability is a real thing, except for the president, who says it's a Democratic hoax. But when somebody goes to the grocery store nowadays, whether it's in East Texas or whether it's right here in Dallas, Texas, or whether it's in Austin or West Texas, let me tell you, they are looking at those grocery prices and they are thinking we deserve better. Knowing that we do the amount of trade that we do in the state of Texas, yet right now there are these unwarranted tariff wars that is directly impacting us, knowing that we do agriculture big in Texas. We do everything bigger in Texas, but we do ag big, and understanding that we are hitting record-breaking bankruptcy filings by our farmers. Listen, my message is real simple. I'm looking out for you, your survival, and the survival of your kids as it relates to affordability, being able to actually go and access healthcare, being able to send your child to school, being able to afford a roof over your head. If that's not, what Trump supporters want, then fine. Then they absolutely won't listen to me. But I'm here for the everyday person, the person that's not the billionaire on the list that Trump has decided to take care of, but the people that he left sitting out in the cold, just like he did when he decided to be sworn in, and he decided that Inauguration Day, he would have it inside while so many of his loyal supporters were outside.
You guys, this woman gets on my last nerve. Okay. First of all, not one Trump supporter is interested in voting for Ratchet Crockett. 2, you don't deserve your hairstylist. Okay. As much money as you make, as much money as George Soros' son is paying you, ma'am, please let us know, why does your weave bend like that? Why does it bulk on the side? Why? Oh, why does it nest in such a way? I'm absolutely annoyed with this woman. And I'm going to tell you why. She has absolutely nothing to talk about, absolutely nothing to say, absolutely nothing to give. I haven't heard any solutions. I haven't heard anything other than the things that she likes to talk about, which is absolutely nothing. Okay? Which is the reason why I can only sit here and talk about how ratchet she is, her hair, how she dresses, what she does, because she doesn't do anything else. She has no legislation. All right. She may attach herself to a bill they don't pass. I mean, 11. She's on 11 as a co-sponsor. Okay. Nothing of significance. They do this catch-all phrase, right? And this is coming from a person who is a mixed race person herself. They do this catch-all phrase of, oh, people of color, people of color. Well, who is that? That's everybody but white. Like they do this to tug on heartstrings. But let's be clear, everybody has a different ethnicity and has their own community and their own issues. Okay, the Somalis are not calling themselves the people of color, they are calling themselves the Somalis. Okay, but they do this because their main base, they need them to agree. They need them to agree. All right, but they're already, Beto and the rest of them, okay, are already getting Black people at a 92% clip. So who do they need? Who do they need? They need the illegals. And that's who she's pitching to. When she talks about the schools and being scared, Black people are not scared to go to school. Neither are white. Everybody just goes to school. So who is she actually talking to? Who is she trying to capitulate to? She's trying to reach out to the illegals, okay? And that's who she's talking to by using the base. She wants her base, which is usually Black people and white liberals, okay, especially white women, to go out there and say, you know, oh, Donald Trump is doing this, doing that, so they can have their cheap labor back, so they can have, you know, pretty much legal slavery. Well, slavery was legal at one point. So there it is, okay? Who is going to pick the fruit? Who is going to help the farmers? Those were Jasmine Crockett's words. Because she ain't doing it. That's what she said. It's absolutely atrocious. And let's be clear. Most Hispanic people are conservative. Okay? Even if they vote for a Democrat, they usually are more right-leaning. Okay? And that's because most of the places that are in, you know, Latin countries and Hispaniola, here's the thing. Those countries, socialists, dictators, all this stuff. So they understand the economics of it. That's why they're coming over here ripping you off. Because they understand the economics, okay? How is it that people in this country don't get it? You don't get it. You just heard the HUD secretary talk about the housing. All right. Well, why? I mean, I don't understand what people don't get about that. If you have an influx of 10 million plus people, yeah, where are they staying? In houses. Well, how are they getting these houses? What are the loans? What are they doing? Like, you gotta be smarter than this. And for some reason, I don't understand why anybody would vote for this woman. She hasn't told you one thing that she was going to do other than talk trash to Donald Trump. Okay. And Donald Trump can take it. He'll just talk it back. But what is she doing? What's the money that she's putting into your pocket? What type of new businesses has she brought to TX30 since her time being there? Absolutely not one. Okay. I can tell you she took away businesses. So at the end of the day, you know, I'm looking at this like, ma'am, have several seats. Okay. We don't want it. We don't need it. Because you are not for the people. You have never been for the people. If you were for the people, you would actually be employing people and telling people how they can get off of welfare. Okay. Because the point of the matter of welfare is to have a hand up, not a hand out. I'm sure people would rather have a stable job than have to live in public housing. Okay. And wait for checks and things from the government. And if something goes awry with the government, they don't have any food or any money or anything. Like, where is the group economics? Where is it? They never talk to you about that. And they never will, because they need you to be downtrodden. They need you to be where you are, poor and tattered. And they need you to be illegal, because they need to replace the others just in case they feel like rising up. It's absolutely ridiculous. But you guys, that is Miss Cringeworthy Ratchet Crockett, aka Jasmine Crockett, who wants to flip Texas blue. Okay. But she will not flip Texas. Okay. Just like she's not going to be able to flip that hair, because it's just about as stale as child. You guys get down in the comments, like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know what you think about Miss Crockett. All right. Let me know what you think. Let me go ahead and read these super chats, because I can talk about Ratchet Crockett all day. Child. She boils my skin. She never does. Oh, well, no Democrat does. Let's get into agency headquarters with the $2 super chat. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Ilhan Omar eats pork. You know what? Isn't she Muslim? Eats pork with extra bacon on the low. What? She got pork chops and bacon on her plate. You ain't right. Thank you so much. I appreciate that super chat. Y'all are wild. Let's see. Taurus Prince, thank you so much for the $4.99 super chat. On the way to work, and I heard some bull. I'm from Texas, and these don't speak for me. I know that's right. I know that's right. And that's the thing. A lot of people in Texas don't, want this lady representing her. All right. I did an interview with Sheldon Daniels. I've covered Sheldon plenty of times. I really do, wish the best for him and any other Republicans down there. Especially, in the words they like to use, Republicans of color. Okay. Yeah, I wish the best. Wesley Hunt. Okay, like these people are actually people in the community and actually know. Like when I interviewed Sheldon Daniels, he was actually there building his own campaign site. Okay, he was doing my interview while building his own campaign site. Okay, and when I say in there, buffing the floors, wiping stuff down, putting up like by himself. Okay. These are really grassroots people out there talking to me. He does man on the street right now. All right. He's out there talking to the people. Hey, what do you know about, the Republican Party? Or what do you know about conservatism? Just talking to anybody, even if they're liberal, just talking to people. Ratchet Crockett is up here with these, Kendrick Lamar wannabe rappers who can't remember the words. I mean, that is a cardinal sin. When you are an artist, you're supposed to remember your words. Okay. I have never forgotten my lyrics. And that's a fact. Thank you so much for the super chat. These people are wild. What? A Texas barbecue. Texas barbecue. Y'all are wild. All right, you guys, let's move on. Let's we didn't got on Texas people. Let's get on to some of my people. The Cubans, okay, the Cubanos and the Cubanas down there in Miami. I don't know what's going on with Miami, but I'm telling you, it's not the Latinos. I'm telling you who it is. It is the white liberal women. They are taking over Miami. Okay, they are trying to get their little affordability, and they want to live down there in Miami, and they are coming for these liberal cities. They want to, be able to run the gamut. Okay. And they're winning. Miami just elected their first Democratic mayor in 30 years. Okay. Because I told you Latinos and Hispanic people tend to be Republican, conservative, lean more right. Right. You had that, and you also have the fact that she's the first, and I do mean the first woman to be mayor down in Miami. And so, liberals love a first this, a first that. However, the woman is what the rest of these people are: progressive, socialist, whatever you want to call it, commie, whatever you want to call it. The Cuban people have seen it before. All right. But there is a growing number, of course, of illegal immigrants. And of course, the influx of the white liberal, just like here in DC, same difference. And they are voting a different way. They don't want to vote Republican. Okay. So I want to get into that, and you guys let me know your thoughts on all of this. All right, here we go.
Are you a socialist?
Well, I'm a mechanical engineer.
Why is Aileen Higgins dodging such a simple question? She goes on to give a long-winded answer when she could have just answered a simple yes or no, especially when so many Miami residents are of Cuban descent and have experienced firsthand the horrors of socialism. While Higgins hides where she really stands, Emilio Gonzalez is crystal clear. He is not a socialist. He's a Cuban American and retired Army colonel ready to serve the people of Miami.
Well, Emilio Gonzalez, he did not win. Okay. He didn't win. He did not win. Okay. He didn't win. He wasn't out there at Domino Park, out there playing dominoes. He wasn't out there. I didn't see him out there. All right. He went down there and, he wasn't down there in Caliocho. Okay. He wasn't down there in Caliocho, eating ham sandwiches. He wasn't doing it. I didn't see him. He wasn't down there smoking cigars. Okay. He wasn't down there smoking hand rolls to Cubans. He wasn't down there. All right. You let this woman, okay, this liberal white woman come out here and talk to the disenfranchised people, okay? This lady then went down to Little Haiti, okay? And you know what's happening with the Haitians, okay? She then went down to Little Haiti. She then went down to Biscayne and got all the, Gucci white women to come down there and campaign for her, all right? That's what's happening. She went and campaigned in Dade County, and by golly, she won. So I want to get into CNN and what happened, but I want to get into this poll first. Here we go.
It's surprising because the last time a Democrat held the office of mayor of Miami was back during the era of The Birdcage, which was a great film in the late 1990s. One of my favorites.
1990s.
But more than that, Kate Baldwin, it feels like deja vu all over again. Sarah Seidner is laughing in the back there, I want to note. And I'm coming in from Buffalo, where I was watching the Bills. Therefore, my voice is
that what's going on?
That is what's going on right here.
You can't blame me being Typhoid Mary on this one.
No, I was just really rooting for the Bills. But this was just such a big shift to the Democrats. I mean, Kamala Harris won Miami, but just by a point. There was a huge shift towards Donald Trump. This was in Miami, Joe Biden had carried Miami by nearly 20 points, and Harris only won it by 1. And all of a sudden, look at this. It's a 19-point win for Higgins. That is an 18-point shift in just a year's time. Yeah. And of course, it is just the latest shift that we're seeing. That is what I think is so important going on here. We've seen it in special elections. We saw it in Virginia Gov. We saw it in New Jersey Gov. We have seen it across the political map, whereby over and over and over again, the baseline Democrats are consistently outperforming it 10, 15, nearly 20 points in this case.
And you know what that means? Democrats didn't even like Kamala, okay? If the local Democrats are outperforming Kamala, nobody liked her. Absolutely nobody. It just is what it is. Here's the thing about this, okay? Miami, especially like South Beach and places like that, okay, where, you have a lot of tourism, Biscayne, even though... When you think about all of that, okay, you think about Miami Beach, North Beach, all of that. When you think about all of that, and you think about those tourism dollars, and you think about crime, okay, because the Republicans have been down there, they have been hard on crime, okay? They've been hard on crime. I guarantee you, this lib, she's not about to be hard on crime. Watch what happens to the beaches. It's going to look like Coney Island. Watch what happens. Watch what happens to crime on South Beach. Just watch. Absolutely watch. It's going to be wild. It's going to be wild. But, if they want a blue wave, let it blow. Let it blow. When I tell you, I don't want to hear a peep. I don't want to hear a peep.
Well, put this into more context of what you're talking about, into kind of the broader trend that we're seeing across the country in races.
Yeah, okay. So I think if you know anything about Miami, it's heavily Hispanic, heavily Latino. And what we have seen is that Latinos have absolutely gone up and said, you know what? I don't like what Donald Trump is doing. I mean, just look at Donald Trump's net approval.
That is absolutely false. The illegal Latinos don't like what Donald Trump is doing. Okay. Y'all need to get down on the street and do man on the street. Okay. In Miami, they don't want it either.
Among Latinos. In February, it was -2 points. Not too hot to trot, but not that bad either. Look at where it is now. -38 points. That is a shift of 36 points in the wrong direction, the completely wrong direction for Donald Trump. And what the race in Miami illustrates, I was looking at the localities, locality by locality by locality. What you see is these huge shifts in these heavily Hispanic neighborhoods of Miami against against the Republican nominee from the Donald Trump baseline. And so to me, this is an encapsulation of what we see. We saw it in Arizona's 7th congressional election earlier this year. Again, a heavily Hispanic district. What we see is Democrats outperforming that 2024 baseline, which to me is so important because we see these national polls. You wonder, how is this actually going to impact things? And what we see is exactly what we saw last night, the first Democratic mayor of the great city of Miami since the birdcage era.
So there you have it. I see something in the chat really quick. Cubans, you mean the ones who won't let blacks in their club? Ma'am, correction. The ones who won't let who in the club? Because I can tell you right now, in those clubs, they're worried about the money. Okay. Most of the time, they want people who are going to spend, especially like Club Live. And I've gone to those clubs plenty of times. Absolutely. Plenty of times. I stay in the Fontainebleau all the time. Okay. All the time. I have no problem with getting in. Okay. I will say this. If you don't look a certain way, meaning like if you a 2, you might not get in. If you have a bad outfit, you might not get in. That might just be some of y'all's problem. Okay. Absolutely not. There's plenty of black people in that club. Tons of them. I have plenty of video. Y'all be saying the wildest stuff. Okay. People have experiences. Yes, they do. All right. No group of people is perfect, but no, absolutely not. They're in the club buying bottles at that. Please. Let's move on, okay? Because I want to get into I want to get into this because I just can't believe what this woman has to say. This is where she is now and what she's saying she wants to do. Let's see if she says anything good. Here we go.
Right now at noon, the election results are in for Miami's mayor, with Ilhan Higgins winning that runoff race. It's an historic win as she becomes Miami's first female mayor.
And she's ready to get right to work. Local 10's Trent Kelly live in Miami, where the mayor-elect held a news conference today. Trent.
Yeah, they about to flee. Right.
Yeah, guys, she'll not only be Miami's first female mayor, but Ilhan Higgins also will become the first Democrat to be elected to lead the city in nearly 30 years. A big win after a campaign full of big promises. And today she outlined how she plans to deliver.
Yeah.
Morning, everyone.
Ilhan Higgins meeting the media one day after her historic and decisive win in the runoff to be Miami's next mayor.
I am so honored that our incredibly beautiful, diverse community selected me.
Higgins winning by a hefty margin, finishing 19 points ahead of her challenger, making her the first woman to ever lead the city. Today, in her first official press conference as Miami's mayor-elect, Higgins vowed to immediately tackle some of the city's biggest issues, like a lack of affordable housing.
A number of ways that housing can be accelerated. Number one, we've talked about the terrible permitting system. Right now, it takes at least 2 years to permit a project. The bureaucracy cannot last longer than the construction.
She also addressed Miami's immigrant community, saying City Hall will explore ways to limit the impact of the recently signed 287G agreement.
There's no reason in the city of Miami that our police department should be in the job of federal immigration enforcement.
As the city's first Democrat to be elected mayor in nearly 30 years, Higgins also had this pointed message for her future colleagues at City Hall.
The era of commissioners yelling at one another and threatening to punch one another is going to stop. You do not need to yell to be heard. Your actions can be seen by the people. And so I am sure that that will change.
Absolutely ridiculous.
And current mayor Francis Suarez congratulated Higgins on social media last night, saying he will do everything he can to ensure a smooth transition. So far, a date has not been announced for Higgins swearing in. For now, that is the latest from Miami. I'm Trent Kelly.
Absolutely atrocious. All right, you guys. So let's go ahead and get into this last part because, you know, CNN, they were itching to say something. Okay, our favorite strong person, Miss Caitlin Collins. Let's see what she had to say. Here we go.
For nearly 3 decades, and yes, you're hearing that music correctly, a Republican has led the city of Miami from City Hall, but that streak has ended tonight, hence the election music. CNN is now projecting that the Democrat in that race, Ilhan Higgins, is going to win the Miami's mayor race, defeating the Trump-backed Republican city manager Emilio Gonzalez. This is the latest strong performance that we are seeing play out by Democrats in elections during the first year of President Trump's second term, as they've continued to ride a strong wave of momentum in these off-year races. My political sources are here with me tonight, former Obama White House senior advisor Ashley Allison and Republican strategist Brad Todd. And Brad, this is the candidate that just, I think 2 days ago, the president said it was a big and important race. He said, vote for the Republican Gonzalez, that he is fantastic. What do you make of the fact that he lost tonight? What are you reading into that?
Well, you're not going to hear me diminish the fact this is a largely ceremonial office, and it's typically a low wattage election. You're not going to hear me do that. What I'm going to tell you is if we have 20% turnout in the midterms like we did tonight, we're going to get our tails kicked in every election. And the message for Republicans here is that we have to do better with turnout. Low propensity voters in our current coalition, that means we have to work really hard to get them out in non-presidential elections. That is the signature challenge of this election for us right now that campaigns and candidates can control.
I mean, I actually...
You stunned her.
Well, I'm stunned because it's rare that I hear Republicans say that their voting constituents are low propensity. That is often a term or adjective that is applied to young voters, to African-American voters, to vote like only presidential voters. And so I too think that Democrats have to do a turnout game. But what I will say is that this candidate that won is a progressive Democrat. And so after the 2024 elections, I think progressives got this smear campaign done on them that's the reason why the vice president lost the presidential election. And it's just not true, because what we're seeing and the indication is that if you run on progressive ideas like affordability, like treating people with dignity, even around immigration, which is something that is happening in Miami and was a key issue right there, you can win. And it seems like that's what this candidate did. It reminds me of the last midterm elections, that Donald Trump's endorsement is not the thing that is going to get you over the finish line in midterms. He is the candidate that gets himself over the finish line. It doesn't mean the people he endorses goes over.
That last part I absolutely agree with. I don't think you should depend on the president to get you over. You need to get out on the street and you need to talk to the people, Democrat or Republican. It is what it is. I don't think you need Joe Biden and Barack Obama, the Crypt Keeper, Bill Clinton. I don't think you need these people to come out stump for you if you're a Democrat. I think you should get out there and do it yourself. All right. However, here's the thing. Republicans and conservative voters and independents tend to not vote in these midterm elections, right? Or mid-year elections, right? So that is the real issue, honestly and truly. It's not that these Democrats are doing so well. Their voters, Republicans, they do it all one wop, woo, woo, we win, go home. That's it. But, Democrats, they deranged all year. So they're looking to go out here. They're energized. Okay. And, as deranged as they, a lot of them are on the left, that's what you want with your base. All right. And so, hey, these Republicans have to figure out a way to get people motivated. That is their problem. All right. That's their job. And if they don't figure it out, they will be out. They will be out. But also, it goes back onto the voters as well. The voters, you have to get out. If you don't want to be in, a blue streak, I suggest you get out and vote. All right. I suggest you get out and vote, because you guys, do this, one big vote and you think it's going to last the next 4 years. All right. You have to pay attention. You have to pay attention. But again, you're going to see, because they talk about a lot about this affordability. The people that pay the most taxes are the people that live down there on the water, that have all the boats. They are paying for whatever you may think about. If they leave, who's paying for it? Okay. Look at California. All the rich people started leaving. Okay. All those Silicon Valley people, and look at it. Miami. Okay. I love Miami, but You won't catch me there. Especially when the Democrat gets in. All the parking gonna be high. Everybody gonna be laying on the street. Okay, I don't have time for it. I absolutely don't have time. So you guys get down in the comments, like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you think about the new Miami mayor, the first Democratic mayor in 30 years, and the first woman, okay? The first woman and the first non-Hispanic to be elected as mayor. Okay? You're losing your grip. The liberal white women are taking over. You guys get down in the comments and let me know what you think about it. All right. Let me go ahead and read these super chats really, really quickly. Here we go. Boom. 9.99 super chat. Taurus Prince. Didn't she spread tens of thousands outside of Texas? Didn't she spend tens of thousands outside of Texas? And she shot what? She shot the people. Anybody built that time machine yet? I'm gonna drop here off to the real white supremacists in 1869 or something like that. You know, they don't know. They don't really actually know. That's just a talking point. They don't know. Okay. Just like they don't know about the black senators on the Republican side. They don't know about that. They don't know about the civil rights bill that was actually just for black people before the Democrats got to it and made it for everybody else but black people. They don't know about that either. Okay. Just is what it is. Let them be. Thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you. Let's see here. Chavis. Sorry. South Beach is about to be south side of Chirac 2.0. Watch. Absolutely. 100% facts. 100%. That's exactly what it's about to be. Oh, well, let it be. That's what they want. That's what they'll get. Not our problem. Thank you so much for the super chat, you guys. I appreciate you. Let's go ahead and move into this, you guys. Really quick, really quickly. All right. I wanted to bring this up because actually, before I bring that up, because that's actually pretty quick, I want to bring up let's do I guess we can do it really quick. All right. I wanted to bring this up because I just thought it was wild that he wanted to sue. He wants to sue Donald Trump because Donald Trump blocked him from being able to use this stupid app to alert people to the police when there may be criminals who may be illegal in your area. Okay. Like these people, they go out of their way to do stuff that they never did for. I've never seen them do this for the boys on the block. I've never seen them do this. They've never done this for, the boys on the block. They've never done this for anybody like that. But the illegals, they go all out. They got whole apps. It's absolutely insane. But let's go ahead and get into this, you guys, really quickly, and then we will move on. But I wanted you guys to see this because it was just wild. Here we go.
This comes as the creator of an ICE tracking app, which was pulled from Apple's App Store under pressure by the Trump administration, has just filed a new lawsuit today, claiming comments like this show the Trump administration suppressed his First Amendment rights.
We had Apple and Google take down the ICEBLOCK apps. Hope they continue to comply with that.
Out front now is the creator of the ICEBLOCK app, Joshua Aaron. And Joshua, it's a pleasure to talk to you again. Obviously, tonight, a big development, this lawsuit. Why do you think you have a case against
You got
Trump?
a cat, I bet. You got a cat. I got him.
Well, I think we have a case because they violated our First Amendment rights. If we look back in 1963, there was a Supreme Court case called Bantam Books v. Sullivan, where they defined jawboning as unconstitutional government coercion to suppress speech. And they established that jawboning is, in fact, a violation of the First Amendment.
Oh, with the Democrats.
So
did.
what
Got
A.G.
it.
Pam Bondi and this administration did to us was, in fact, jawboning.
Oh.
And so, it kind of makes me think about my favorite quote from Ben Franklin. When he was asked what type of government the delegates had created, His response was, a republic if you can keep it. And his point was that the survival of our democratic republic is not guaranteed. In fact, quite the opposite. It requires an active and informed citizenry. And a lesson we should all take from that is that when we see our federal government or government in general doing something wrong, it's our duty as citizens to stand up and hold them accountable. And that's exactly what we're doing here.
Right.
Okay, so our Outfront legal analyst, Ryan Goodman, was looking at your case, and he says, look, he thinks you've got a shot with this lawsuit at success. He did warn, though, and I just wanted to read what he wrote, Joshua. He said, a lot may turn on whether the DOJ can show that Apple removed the app based on the company's internal standards of safety. And basically, this is the argument that someone could see a post on the app about, oh, hey, ICE agents are here at this Target parking lot, for example, and that somebody could see that, be sitting, lurking on the app, and then come and target those ICE agents violently. How will you make the case that your app does not pose a risk to agents by this people notifying where they are?
Yeah.
Well, I think it comes back to the same rhetoric that's been used since the inception of any kind of public law enforcement reporting in the digital platform. I believe it was Waze who did the first one with speed traps. And so the local, state, and federal officials, they used the exact same rhetoric. Somehow they figured if you could see a police officer doing a speed trap in public and you told somebody else about it, magically they were going to jump out of their car and start smashing the police car and attacking the police officer. Obviously, that's ridiculous. That doesn't happen. What do? They slow down and they avoid the conflict. That's what it was developed for. And in fact, in 3 different places in the app, it says, for informational purposes only, do not obstruct law enforcement. So this was never intended to be anything other than an informational tool that allowed people within a 5-mile radius of the reported sighting to decide for themselves whether or not they wanted to approach the area in which ICE was sighted.
And
absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. The reason why I wanted to play that for you guys is because, you know, a lot of you guys live in these heavily blue plated areas, cities and states. All right. And I am a big fan of, you know, the SA offenders. Okay. I am a big fan of knowing those people. And so I want to know where these other folks are as well. Right. And then if you go around hiding them here in Maryland, we already had a young lady, a young Black lady at that, be unalived by an illegal alien. Legal migrant. We also had a child be ran over by a illegal Haitian migrant. And we've had a lot of MS-13 activity, so much so that literally the police department can identify him. That's why we knew the Maryland dad wasn't a Maryland dad, and he was an MS-13 member who was really from El Salvador, but they sent him back only to be a Liberian girl. All right, because he's going to Liberia. But that is the thing. They are sitting here telling us that we should allow, you know, just anybody in our communities, and we should not. Okay. And this broke Elon Musk here, who doesn't want to crowdfund to go get money to, you know, make whatever apps he wants to make. He wants to sue the United States. He wants to sue the taxpayers for us to be able to. Yeah, I know the legal term, but you know, YouTube has a problem with that. That's why. You say it too many times. Yeah. So anywho, at the end of the day, this is the nonsense that we're dealing with. Okay. These people want you to be dealing with these illegal migrants. They want you to deal with them. Okay. We can't get rid of them. We absolutely can't get rid of them. And when somebody says, you know, let's go ahead and, you know, get rid of these people, they want to make apps for them to be able to evade arrest. It's absolutely crazy. And it's only white liberals, okay? It's either the cat ladies or now the cat men, okay? Because all of them got the cats. So I'm just like, wow. It's wild. I've never seen such foolishness, okay? When I had Ask a Brother podcast on, Mr. Jeff, okay, when I had him on, he absolutely told me, yeah, the Democratic Party has a lot of males, but they don't have men, because they have to, you have to, as a man on that side, say, I'm going to void myself of my natural masculinity, because it's abrasive, it's toxic, it's absolutely insane, which is the reason why that gentleman, okay, Colin Alfred, got booted, and Ratchet Crockett is on top of the Senate ticket. It's wild. But you guys get down in the comments and let me know what you think about this guy here suing. He's just clout chasing. It's absolute clout chasing. Okay. ICEBLOCK app owner sues Donald Trump. Is it free speech or clout chasing? Let me know in the comments. All right, you guys. I think I've gone through pretty much everything, but my last thing I wanted to get into, yeah, I've gone through them all. But the last thing I wanted to get into was Erika Kirk. Okay. Erika. When I tell you, Erika Kirk had a lot to say. She had a lot to say on Fox News. We're going to get into that. This is our last story of the night, you guys. All right. But I wanted to get into what Erika Kirk had to say, because she wanted to talk about all these conspiracy theories. She said, y'all are doing too much out here on the internet, some of you people in particular. And she said that you guys just need to stop. Now, here we go.
With Erika Kirk sharing her journey with America and the world, we are grateful at Fox to have her here to shine a light on healing as we all miss and mourn the loss of her beloved Charlie Kirk. Not all of her journey has been without, well, hate, conspiracies, and oddly, speculation about where her husband is buried. Now, for the first time, Erika, who's with me now, addresses all of it from the perspective of a grieving widow, a mom, and a battle-tested American. Good to see you again today. Talk to me about this part of the conspiracies that are out there, this disturbing part that people are trying to guess where Charlie is.
Can I have one thing? Can I have one thing? Can my children have one thing? Everything was public. We will be building the most beautiful memorial for my husband at Turning Point USA, and it will be for the world to see, and it will be spectacular, and it will have basically museum style for our Charlie, for my Charlie. But can I have one thing? Can my babies have one thing where we hold it sacred, where my husband is laid to rest, where I don't have to be worried about some secular revolutionary coming and destroying my husband's grave while my daughter is sitting there praying? One thing, that this is my husband. Yes, he was Charlie Kirk to the world, and I know so many people love my husband, and I am grateful for that, but this is my husband, and I want to be able to have one thing left that is sacred to our family, to my in-laws, to my babies, and to my parents. One thing.
What are they taking from you right now?
Nothing. But I will tell you what they are doing. It reminds me so much of chapter 6 in the book of Nehemiah. He is building a wall, and the townspeople are at the base of that hill saying, Nehemiah, calling him all these names, saying all these things, come on down. Every single time he had the same message 4 times in a row. I cannot come down. I am busy building. That is how I feel. I do not have time to address the noise. My silence does not mean that I am complacent. My silence does not mean that somehow Turning Point USA and all of the handpicked staff that loved my husband and my husband loved them is somehow in on it. We are busy building. And you know what I thought? I thought these people are human. We are all grieving in our own way. And they are trying to find the answer to something that happened that was so evil. They are trying so hard. And I get that. We're doing the same. Anytime we hear a lead or anytime we hear anything, we send it to the authorities. Please dig into this. No rock will be unturned. I want justice for my husband, for myself, for my family, more than anyone else out there. So for me, You want to keep telling me to come down while we're building? I don't have time for that. But here's my breaking point on that. Come after me, call me names, I don't care. Call me what you want, go down that rabbit hole, whatever. But when you go after my family, my Turning Point USA family, my Charlie Kirk Show family, when you go after the people that I love, and you're making hundreds and thousands of dollars every single episode going after the people that I love because somehow they're in on this, no.
You know, I have to say it. I've never seen you like this.
No, this is righteous anger because this is not okay. It's not healthy. This is a mind virus. Yes, I believe in our judicial system. I do. We have a hell of a team working on this. Excuse my French. But this is not okay.
So you want to put these people back in the box where they've been creeping from?
I don't care what box you're in. But just know that your words are very powerful and we are human. My team are not machines and they're not robots. They are human. We have more death threats on our team and our side than I have ever seen. I have kidnapping threats. I have, you name it, we have it. And my poor team is exhausted. And every time they bring this back up, what are we supposed to do? Relive that trauma all over again? They watched my husband get murdered. I have no idea how I would have reacted if I was there that day. And thank the good Lord that I did not have to see that happen. But my team, they are rocked to the core. So why every single day do they have to be dragged through the mud, analyzed, hyper-analyzed?
You know, the conspiracies that are out there, all of the like, do you think that there is more of it now because you do shine your light? I mean, did people just expect you would just go away?
I don't know what they expected. I don't know what they expected.
They pick on you because of your
Oh, yeah. No, at this point, it's what? The conspiracy collection. Get it before Christmas. Like, seriously. Wow. You will, if you want to find and pick me apart, go right ahead. I do not care. I don't. This was happening before Charlie was murdered. Both of us have been through the ringer of people will call you whatever they want to call you. They will. But I have seen it firsthand impact the people that I love, and I'm done. I'm done. And if people think that I was just going to wilt away, I'm not going to sit in a corner and cry and be in fetal position. This is a duty to my husband, and it's an absolute honor, and I will never back down. And so my message to them is to stop. To stop.
And that's what we will say here on Outnumbered 2. God bless you. Hold up your book.
Stop in the name of God.
Amen.
Well, I know you heard that. Okay. Look, that is where she's at with it. All right. Whew, she said a lot. You know, on one hand, you know, I could understand people wanting to know, you know, more about this because this seems vague, this seems that. And Charlie Kirk is a public figure. So people are going to do such, okay? Especially when you're as massive as he was, all right? People are either going to love, hate, they are going to have whatever, you know, conspiracies they have, whether true or false, right? They are going to have them because he was a very polarizing figure, right? A lot of people loved him, a lot of people didn't like him. So I understand those points. And then I understand it from a human aspect of that's her husband. All right. I don't know what she does. I never, the entire time I, you know, knew Charlie Kirk, I never really paid attention to his wife, right? I paid attention to Charlie Kirk. So I never analyzed her like that. Some people say they did and they see this, they see an actress. I don't know what to make of it. I really don't, right? And unfortunately, you know, there are some people that, you know, are invested in it and that's fine. And then there are some people that are not. You know, I think the whole ordeal, whether it's a conspiracy or not, I feel for Charlie because it was awful. That was awful. Okay. So that's part of my thoughts. Now, with that being said, last but not least, all right, you cannot make this up. Erika Kirk just went on TV. She said what she said. Okay. And then this happened. When I tell you, Candace don't miss nothing. She over there, like, she don't miss nothing. Okay. This is what Candace Owens had to say. Lord Jesus.
Now, I wasn't sure about Erika. I was waiting kind of a situation for her to be in, obviously, having lost her husband, becoming the CEO and the chairman of a company. It's just a lot of transition, and it's nice to wait for more information before you prejudge or just make an assumption about somebody, and it maybe is not based in reality.
Oh, God.
Well, we are getting a lot more of Erika Kirk this week. I'll tell you that, because she has been doing the rounds in the media really over the last couple of weeks. And she just gave an interview live with Harris Faulkner on Fox News, where she finally addressed the quote unquote conspiracy theories. And I have to say this because it's true, but it completely missed the mark for me. I am sorry. It just has. But the good news is that she is now unmurkying the water in terms of her intentions with this massive political organization. That's good news, truly, because we knew Charlie, and now we are getting an opportunity to know Erika. Plus, later on in the show, it's Knives Out for Tucker Carlson. As always, he's trending right now because he has officially waded into the who killed Charlie Kirk narrative. And since he is not a bought and paid for Fed, he is siding with not just the American people worldwide. And he says that he's not buying the official narrative. And there are some lingering questions. And he confirms what I told you about the Egyptian planes. So let's check into this.
I said, she just went on there. Like, that was this afternoon. It's wild. Everything that's happened just today and a little bit of, last night, but everything that's happened over the last 24 hours has been the conservative wars. Okay. It's been literally the conservative wars, and it's not a war of different values. It's not a war. It doesn't seem to be an actual, it doesn't seem to be like the left, I should say, right? It seems that everybody wants to figure out something, right? You want to figure out what's going on with Israel. You want to figure out what's going on with Charlie Kirk. You want to figure out what's going on with Epstein. You want to figure out what's going on with this, that, and the third. And everybody has their own opinions. Everybody has, opinion on how you should move, what you should talk about, what you should vote for. And as much as I love people, reading into things and looking things up for themselves, I am a big advocate of go and just look it up. I honestly don't see how this all helps America. I love Charlie Kirk. Okay. I loved all the stuff that, most of the stuff that he talked about. Okay. Some stuff, but 80% of it was pretty good. Okay. I have absolutely no qualms with Charlie Kirk. All right. I like Candace. All right. Sometimes I think she goes a little bit to the left for me, but hey, I like Candace. All right. I don't have a problem with Turning Point. All right. As you saw, I had the the co-founder and senior director on. I did an interview with him. His name is Pierre Wilson. All right. I don't have a problem with any of these so-called factions in the conservative movement, the conservative space. I just wish we could all have a consensus on how to get people up to go to the polls, so we don't have to look at people like Mondami, or we don't have to look at people like what's her name, Ilya's son down there in Miami, who's going to turn my favorite South Beach into a homeless shelter. Okay, because when she's done with it, it will be trashed. Okay, it will look just like Santa Monica and all that other stuff where they're trying to get people out because they don't have housing, because it's flooded with illegal immigrants. I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous. So that's what I want to talk about. Okay, I want to keep Ratchet Crockett from being a senator. All right, where she'll just spend up all the money trying to make, everything purple. That's what I would like to focus on. I would like to focus on actually having more than one Republican seat here in the state of Maryland, okay? With bald-headed Wes Moore, he wants to make the only Republican seat a Democratic seat. I told you they gerrymander here in Maryland to death, okay? So with all that being said, it's like, it's funny. On one end, okay, the April Chapman beefs with Angela Staton, okay, it's wild what's going on with Candace and Erika Kirk, okay, all of that stuff, okay, Tucker Carlson, this, that, third, PBD podcast, I mean, all types of stuff. All right, what's going on with Tim Pool, all of these things. But here is the thing, you guys. Here's the problem. How we can do it. All right, we can do it. Most of the conservatives I know they got banter for days. Okay, they can go back and forth with the best of them. But how is this helping moving America forward? How are we moving forward? How are we moving forward? How are we getting the economy going? Who's helping the kids learn AI and get off these damn computers? All right. Sitting there looking at soft corn all day. Who's helping them learn? Who's helping them get their motor skills back because they don't use pens and pencils anymore? Like, sometimes I feel like we spin our wheels on things that it's cool if we find out. I absolutely think it's cool if we find out about what happened in Charlie Kirk, if something indeed did really happen. Okay, cool. It's cool, the Epstein files, and put these nasty people in jail. Absolutely. Okay. But when it comes to the people that are alive, okay, or the people that are here now, or the people that are in America trying to survive, trying to get ahead, how does this help us? How does this help us? Okay. How does that help? How does that help keep Baltimore children from not graduating with a 3rd to 4th grade level of education? And you made it all the way to high school, and some of you got accepted to college. I don't understand. How does that help? It does not. A lot of the things that I bring up, I try to make, people aware of what's going on, and, we can laugh, cry, whatever. But it's really about awareness. And like I said, we can have awareness with a lot of things, but how does it help? How does it help move the needle? Okay. Knowing who's on your local tickets absolutely helps. Okay. I'm going to laugh. Trust me. I'm going to laugh at those progressives because they're nuts. But knowing that you're down in Miami, that's your local leader. Okay. Knowing that helps. Knowing what they're doing in New York, knowing what they're doing in California, knowing what they're doing in Texas, knowing how they're gerrymandering here in Maryland, Illinois, things like that, knowing what PB&J Pritzker, okay, and his butterball self is out there doing in Illinois to spend all of your money, all of your good tax dollars in the state. Okay. Whether you're Democrat or Republican or independent and everything in between, Green Party, if you like Jill Stein. All right. At the end of the day, how does that help any of that information? And I think sometimes we get so caught up in all of that we actually don't realize that we're so far off. Okay. And even when you want to take it to the Democrats, I can't do nothing. I can't do anything about the Democrats run my state. But I wish they weren't so Trump deranged. Like, go actually try to fix the budget. Go actually try to do that so my property taxes aren't extremely high. Go actually try to do something so that these kids, aren't out in the street every day. You don't like that the National Guard is here. Well, you're not doing anything. Your police forces are leaving by the dozens because you don't pay them. You can't pay them. And you're not doing anything. Okay? Property crime is up. Everything is up. People are leaving Maryland by the droves. 40,000 people. Why? Because it's trash. It's ran like trash. That's why. So me telling you about all the bald-headed reasoning that happens here in Maryland actually helps. Okay? So one, if you're not here, don't move here. And then two, if you are here, look at how you're voting. Look at who you vote for. Look at it. Look at them. Okay? Look at them. How much of your tax dollars and campaign money did Ratchet Crockett spend on that awful rapper? Okay. Well, she could have paid a BMI artist like myself. However, how much did she spend on it? How much? To tell you about something we already know about her. You don't like Donald Trump. Shocker. No way. Totally way. We know that. What don't we know? What are you actually going to do? What are you trying to do in the Senate? What do you want to do in the Senate that you didn't do in the House? Nothing. And nothing for nothing. It's still nothing. Okay? In reality, in the ether, wherever, it's still nothing. So you can yell and scream all you want. I'll sit here and laugh about it, but you do absolutely nothing. But knowing those things, me bringing that attention helps you vote better, or at least you know the information. But a lot of this stuff I see online is just stupid and petty. Now, I'm here for about 20% petty, but the 80% got to be substance, okay? I'm here for the jokes. Trust me, I'm here for the banter. But y'all got to get it together because it's going to have an awful effect. I keep telling y'all that 2030 is coming, okay? That agenda is real. If you think they're playing with you, they are not. So at the end of, I hope all of these people can get it together. I hope you guys out there as voters can get it together. And I hope, you guys learn to have compassion for each other. If, Charlie Kirk's friend wants to go after whoever she thinks or knows did whatever, let her do it. I don't think people should, pile on. I say keep your eye on stuff, but I just, most of us got better things to do. Okay? Most of us have better things to do. Whether you're for Charlie Kirk or not, you have better things to do. You get your money up. Okay? Get your organization up. Get your turning point up. If you have something to say, get a mic. Everybody else is. Okay? You got Don Limon doing man on the street. Get up and go out and talk to people. But do something. Because right now, I'm not anything other than keyboard warriors. Absolutely. That's all I see. So that is my entire thought about the Star Wars saga we saw here today. With the conservatives, okay? Oh, I'm going to have to tell people viewer discretion is advised if you have to play back because this was wild. You guys, thank you so much for pulling up. Let me get into the super chats before we bow out. And thank you guys for pulling up. I do appreciate it. Let's see here. And thank you for listening to my rants. All right. So 199 super chat from Taurus Prince. Thank you. My bad. This iPhone super chats. No, what happens is if you write something, auto chat quickly on the iPhone will change it. Okay. So you have to actually look at it before you send it because that auto correct on the iPhones with super chats is wild. Trust me, I know. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Let's see here. Y'all need to stop all this Republican or MAGA violence against the makeup. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Thank you so much for the $4.99 super chat. I appreciate you. Thank you, Taurus. Yeah, at the end of the day, that's exactly what's going on. So you guys get down in the chat. Let me know what you thought about all the things that we talked about today, what you thought about Candace Owens. You know, she was out there seeing what she could see. She saw that, child. I knew it. As soon as I opened my laptop, I knew that. I said, oh, what? Erika Kirk is on? A mess. And you know, I feel bad for Erika Kirk's babies. Okay, Charlie Kirk's babies. They're never going to see their dad. Okay, and to have little girls, your daddy is the world, especially when your daddy is there. So I have a heart for that. Yeah, let me know what you think about that. Let me know what you think about the Miami mayor, okay? That's going to turn, you know, Miami from muy caliente to muy. Let me know what you think about that. Let me know what you think about the first woman mayor, because she's the first woman mayor, all right? She's the first non-Hispanic mayor. She's the first white liberal in 30 years, all right? Let me know what you think about that. Awesome news. Let me know what you think about Ratchet Crockett and her cringe campaign. Absolutely cringe. Okay. It was absolutely cringe. Absolutely. You know what? Did I put one here? No, I'm gonna put that one in there. Yep. That's gonna be the out. Yeah, I'm gonna put that in there. You guys, and let me also say this. If you like Ratchet Crockett, fine, but I don't. I think I just think she's a grifter, and anybody that votes for that woman, she's not going to do anything for you, whether you know, a Democrat or not. So do that with whatever you will. Thank you, everybody in the chat. Thank you to God Flavor. Thank you to K God. Thank you to Menelik. I think I got it right this time. Thank you to Loud and Clear. Thank you to Magnificent Gaming. Thank you to is that on Krell Media. Okay. Thank you to Joseph David. Thank you so much for pulling up. Thank you to Matthew. Thank you for pulling up. Yeah, Star Wars out here, Matthew. Thank you to Elisino or Ellis. Let me know how you want to say that, because it's one big word. I can say it a couple different ways. But thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you to agency headquarters. Thank you to Taurus Prince. Thank you to Mike That Dude. Thank you to let's see here. It's Leah. Thank you to Alicia. Thank you to Yakar. Thank you to you know, some of my thank you to a lot of the liberals that pull up, you know, even if they don't agree with me. I appreciate you pulling up. And being respectful in the chat. You can disagree as long as you're respectful. We cool. Thank you to Jennifer. I appreciate you. Thank you so much, love. Thank you to Michael Armstrong. Thank you to I Am DeAndre. Thank you. Thank you to who else we had the building? Zach. Thank you. Thank you to who else? G Money. Sit your $5. Thank you to Daryl Sanders. Thank you so much. Thank you to Joseph David. I appreciate you. Mr. Watson 80. Hey, love. Thank you to Shadow Dragon TV. Thank you to J Legend Sports, Abe the Hunter. I see you guys all in here. What else? Who else we had in here? Okay, I see you in here. I see y'all. All right. You know, thank you to Super Tim. I see you in here. Who else? I'm trying to get as many people as I can. You guys, I appreciate you guys for pulling up. I really do. It's Wednesday. You could be doing anything else, but I am going to leave you guys with this right here. If you ever get into politics, do not hire. I repeat, do not hire this rapper. It's your girl Mika. Watch the end credits if you didn't see the beginning. I'm out. Peace. Bye.
Let's get into it.
Okay, she ain't never scared and she ain't never been. Who is willing to go toe to toe against the president? I can't wrap my head around someone who votes Republican. She advocate for feeding kids, they protect folks touching them. Trump invading his own country with our army, what a joke. We remember Pearl Harbor by illegally bombing boats. What y'all thought we wasn't gonna do nothing, buddy? Think again. They only trying to scare out of running because they think she'll win. Listen, thought I told y'all we ain't never scared. Now look who name on the docket. Got 2 words for every racist bigot. Jasmine Crockett.
Y'all hear the words.
Me, I hope my money goes to side that isn't trying to say affordability is a hoax. She stand on business, Austin toes. Texas Stoke, don't need no more bad built, bleach, blonde, butch bodies moving forward.
Boy, you don't sit your stupid ass down. Who the f you think you is?